Today we want to reflect on an expression that is very common in Christian preaching: to accept Jesus. For many, this phrase describes the very moment one becomes a Christian, an inner yes, a decision, a transition from being outside to being inside. The expression is used in invitations, in testimonies, and in conversations. Have you accepted Jesus? When did you accept Jesus? It has become a key phrase in modern Christian language, but there is something worth noticing. This expression does not actually appear in the New Testament. We do not find calls such as accept Jesus. There are no texts that say, invite Jesus into your heart. Faith is not described as a psychological act of agreeing to a doctrine or a person. The language as it is commonly used today belongs to modern revival traditions, not to the New Testament texts themselves. When we instead turn to the New Testament, we encounter a very different vocabulary. There we hear about believing, following, repenting, confessing, becoming a disciple. Yeshua says, "Follow me." This is an invitation to a way of life, to a path of discipleship, not primarily to an inner emotional decision. To believe, in the New Testament sense, means more than to think something is true. The word points to trust, loyalty, and commitment. It has to do with where one places one's hope and which direction one's life takes. To repent means to change one's mind and course. To confess means to declare one's allegiance. To follow means to walk in the footsteps of a teacher. These are dynamic words. They describe movement, relationship, and practice, not merely acceptance. And here lies the irony. For many Christians, the lived experience has often been precisely this: learning to accept doctrines, interpretations, and practices, even when they are not fully understood. Prayers directed to Yeshua, the language of eating his body and drinking his blood, Paul's demanding theology. When these things feel difficult or troubling, the response has often been, this must simply be accepted in faith. In this way, accepting Jesus can in practice come to mean accepting an entire system of beliefs, not necessarily because it is deeply convincing, but because one has learned that this is what Christians do. The irony then is this: many have done exactly what preaching has encouraged them to do. They have accepted. But what has often been accepted is the teaching about Yeshua, rather than a trust that grows out of inner conviction. At that point, faith can gradually slide into acceptance. Not through rebellion, but through quiet compliance. Not through rejection, but through loyalty to tradition. Pointing this out is not an attack, nor a dismissal. It is an honest question. Is this what the New Testament means by faith? Or has our language subtly shifted us from trust and discipleship toward agreement and acceptance? Perhaps many, when they pause and reflect, discover that this distinction resonates, that what they have called faith has largely been acceptance, and that this, in itself, deserves to be examined anew. Thank you for listening. If these reflections resonate with you, or if you see things differently, you are warmly invited to share your thoughts in the comments. The Yeshua community is grateful for insights, nuances, and corrections. Peace and blessings to you all.